And if today you decide that you would rather not use a weight and just use range of motion, yep, those look great. Then that is fine with me as well. So weights are always optional, and you can always set them down halfway through whatever it is we're doing too. So always just working with whatever is comfortable for you. I am going to be doing a tiny bit of hinged exercise today. So I do have just a small pillow handy. If you find that you need a little bit of extra front support for hinged exercise and you want to have something like that handy, you're welcome to it. Again, not necessary. And then I always have my water bottle close by. So hopefully you have water nearby as well and can grab a drink whenever you like. I will go a few minutes over the 15-minute mark where we usually stop since we're starting a little bit late today. So if you need to leave before we are finished class, that's okay. Just make sure that you get a little bit of a stretch in if you can. So we'll start as we usually do, back in a comfortable seat. You're welcome to take your eyes to closed for a moment and just focus inward on your breathing. And I think today we'll simply just do that. We'll focus on breathing. So you can take some nice even breaths in and out. Maybe think about how we don't necessarily do that throughout the day. We often breathe a little bit more shallow than is optimal. So giving yourself a chance to take some nice big inhales and exhales, making them even. Maybe these breaths in and out make you sit just a little bit taller in your chair. If so, that's great. Maybe you can enjoy that expansion of your chest. So the rise and fall of your chest, getting a nice full in and out breath. So we're even getting just a little bit of a stretch just by doing this extra amount of breathing focus. And maybe you notice that it just gives you not necessarily more energy, but just a little more of a lively feeling when we take some time to focus on our breathing. Good. So we'll do 2 more nice even breaths in and out like that. And then you're welcome to keep your eyes closed or open them as we start to add a little movement. So from here, we'll drop ear to one shoulder, bring it back through center, drop your ear to the other shoulder. Thinking about how this is a head and neck movement. So trying to keep the shoulders themselves set into position so that the head is coming towards the shoulder and not vice versa. So it could be quite a small move. That's okay. Last one each way here. Good. And then back through center, we'll look down towards our lap. So chin drop towards your chest. Through center and a slight upward gaze. I will let you decide what that looks like for you as we move through some range. So no need to look directly up overhead, maybe a diagonal, just to get that neck in a nice warm moving position. Last one here to come up through our full range and back through center. From here, we're going to take a shoulder check. So you can shoulder check one way, back through center and shoulder check the other. And maybe even here you can notice that we need a bit of core support in order to shoulder check without the rest of our body coming along to help in this move. So a shoulder check purely based on kind of the pivot of our head at our neck. The last one each way here. All right, and then for those of you who are able to move slightly forward on your chair, you're welcome to do that now. We are going to start to add a little bit of rotation, so you're welcome to take both hands to one side. We'll stay on one side for just a little bit here. So rotating to the side, coming back through center, now adding not only a shoulder check, but also rotation. So we're getting extra movement, looking back behind us. But still lots of core control here. So regardless of whether you are at your chair back or away from your chair back, we're now utilizing our oblique muscles a little bit, our side core, in order to pull us back to that center point each time we rotate. So we'll do one more here. Come on, back through center. And we'll do the same on the other side. So both hands are there to guide you. rotating side to center, just through a gentle range, adding in that shoulder check again. Good, we'll do 3 more here. And 2. And last one here. Excellent. Come on back through center. If you are seated away from your chair back, you can stay there as we start to hinge. So our hinge is with both hands for support, and that's part of where my focus is today for our weighted exercises too, is hinges with support. So we are going to be here for a few. If hinging is not available to you today and you are at your chair back, you are actively pressing into your chair back, engaging through your core, coming back through center. So easing off on that pressure, making sure that your wheels are locked in and you're in a safe place for doing that press back, if that's your exercise of choice here. Last 2. And 1. Actually, I'm going to sneak in a couple more hinges, but this one is with a bit of a shoulder check as well. So it will be a hinge, and then you're going to look over one shoulder, look back to center, come back up tall. So we're not rotating through this one. We're simply hinging, and then look over the other shoulder, look back to center, come up tall. We'll just do that 1 more per side. So hinge, shoulder check, back through center and return. And 1 more here, hinge, shoulder check, back through center and return. Excellent. All right, let's get those arms moving. Bicep, tricep. So bicep curl, tricep press back. Nice active move in both directions. So you might make a bit of a fist as your arms come up, and then an active press back as your arms push back behind you. Regardless of whether you are at your chair back or slightly away, we're still using some core muscles to be really strong through our torso as our arms are moving here. And then we'll start to move in a little bit of a bigger arc. So instead of bicep, tricep, we're now pressing forward, pushing back in a long motion. Good. 2 more like that. And 1, we are going to come back up to that top point again. So you're going to reach up and then bend and reach for your same side shoulder, push for the ceiling. Do that 3 more times. Bend, reach for your shoulder, press for the ceiling. 2 more. And 1. Excellent. Good. Reset that. Shoulders are back and down. Arms are out to the side, moving through our thoracic spine and shoulder blades as we pull our elbows into our side and back out to a wide W. Good. We'll do 2 more here. And 1. We're coming down for a little bit of a reset, just to give those shoulders a chance to set back and down, and then coming back to the same position again, this time 1 arm at a time, coming up and over into a half arc. Good, we'll do 2 more here. And 1. All right, and then we're going to finish off this piece with a few more of that exact same move. 1 hand can be on your lap or holding on at your chair for support. We're doing that reach up and over, but now with a small side flex, and then an active grab and pull down. So activating through our lat muscles a bit as we pull that elbow back down to our side. Good, 2 more here. And 1. All right, and then we'll do the same on the other side, using some support with that free hand as needed as we reach up and over, side flex, squeeze and pull down for 4, 3, 2, and last one here. Excellent. All right. We are going to get started. Right away, I'm going to set my timer, but in the meantime, I'll just intro the exercises that we're doing today. We're going to do our 45-second intervals. So that's 3 different exercises at 45 seconds all in a row, and then a break after that before we do it all over again. So these are ones that you'll recognize if you've been coming to class for a while. Our first one is going to be our sprinter arms. So either at your chair back or slightly forward of your chair, powerful arm movements at a bent elbow. So maybe a right angle or slightly less, I guess more than that, for your elbow bend as you start to really power up your arms. So this will be our first move. I'm not setting my timer yet. We're just running through them all. So that'll be number 1. Strong core, shoulders set facing forward. Number 2 will be our seated burpees. So that will be our one where we reach down to the floor and then press up to the ceiling. That's our seated burpee. Hinging is optional for this one. You can, of course, stay upright at your chair back if you need to for the down reach, and then upward reach. Last one here. And your safety reminder for the upward reach, as we do overhead work, we will do a couple of those different exercises today. If you are in a chair that doesn't have anti-tip, make sure you're somewhere safe for overhead. So maybe against a wall or some other stable object. Our third one is going to be our skier arms. So that is like cross-country skiing, where you're reaching and planting a pole. You're welcome to do single arm or dual, and we'll talk more about that as we get going. This can be at a little bit of a forward hinge as well, or upright. Last one here. Good. And then our third one, you know well, that's our seated jacks. Lots of options for workload here. So single arm, dual arm, depending on workload that you are looking for today. So last one here. All right, so those are the 4 exercises. Yes, I said that wrong, didn't I? There are 4 exercises, and then we have a rest after that. So my timer is ready for 45 seconds. We have the first one being our sprinter arms, and here we go. 45 seconds on the clock, sprinter arms. This is our first cardio based exercise for today. So maybe you're just taking this time to just kind of ease into it. Nice even pace. Checking in on, workload, how you feel today, and how hard you want this workout to be today. So you can kind of pace yourself accordingly. Good, nice strong core, nice even breathing. We got 5 more seconds here. All right, our second one coming up, burpees. Reach down, reach up. Hands reach down for the floor, up for the ceiling. Hinging is optional. You can stay upright if that's best for you today. Great, everybody working at their own pace. Keep going, we have about 10 more seconds left here. 3, 2, and 1. Our next one is our skier arms, so big arm movements. If you feel like this single arm is not enough workload for you and you want to go for the double pole plant, you're welcome to do that instead. So harder or more workload as we go to a dual arm move or single arm pump. Good. We can be at a little bit of a forward hinge for this one as well. Awesome. We got 10 more seconds left here. Keep going. Shoulders stay away from your ears. 3, 2, and 1. The last one in this sequence is our seated jacks. Here we go. Single arm or dual arm. And it doesn't need to be all the way overhead. Seated jacks can be up to shoulder height with a slightly bent arm, all the way up overhead. with a long arm reach or dual arm for these jacks. So your choice. Right, we have 10 more seconds and then we have a little rest break. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. All right, take a drink of water if you need one. Do a little body check-in and decide how that first round felt. If you need to scale it back a bit or work a bit harder, you can adjust accordingly. Awesome. About 15 seconds and we are ready to go again. All right, 10 seconds. We'll be starting with our sprinter arms as we did before. So 4, 3, 2, 1, and here we go, sprinter arms. Yeah, so although it's our arms that are moving, our core has to work pretty hard to stabilize here. So you can, appreciate that this is work for our core muscles as well. Especially if those arms are moving quickly. All right, we got about 10 more seconds left here, and then we are on to our seated burpees. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Moving on to that downward reach, upward reach. Optional hinge. If you're feeling like this is a bit too much workload for you, smaller arm movements, less hinging. Welcome to go to just one arm at a time as well. Great, we have about 10 more seconds left here, and then we are moving on to our skier arms. 3, 2, and 1. All right, single arm or dual arm long reach. So if you're thinking about planting that pole and giving a push, that's that feeling. You're welcome to do both arms at once. Extra hinge, really activating through that core as well as through the muscles of the shoulder and mid back. Great, we have 10 more seconds here, and then we're finishing off this set with our seated jacks. 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Single or dual arm to the lift degree that is comfortable for you. Right, after we're done this one, we have another rest break, and then we will do it all over again. So we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Take a reset. Maybe you shake out your head and neck a little bit, side to side, or drop your chin to your chest and shake your head slowly back and forth that way. Good. Shake out your shoulders, some shoulder circles, and we will get ready to go again. So my plan is that we'll do this once more as cardio based, and then I usually do a 4th round where I give you the option of either sticking with the cardio or moving more to muscle focus. So we'll do that again here. Here we go. We are ready. Our sprinter arms is our first one, round 3. Good. Belly button slightly in towards your backbone. So really tightening up that core. We of course don't want to restrict our breathing, but we want to make sure core muscles are engaged to help us here to stay really strong. So this is a powerful move. We've got 10 more seconds on this one, and then we are moving on to our burpees. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Reach down, reach up. Okay, keep going. We have 15 more seconds on this one. And we're moving on to our skier arms. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Dual arm or single arm to plant and push. Thinking of planting the poles in the ground and then giving a big forward propel. And we're going to finish off this one in a few moments with our seated jacks. So we got 10 more seconds of this move. 2 and 1. Here we go. Seated jack, single arm or dual arm. All right, keep going. We have 20 more seconds here, and then it is time for another rest break. And we'll do a little reset there. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Shake out your arms. Maybe give yourself a hug. Reset your shoulders. If you'd like to drop your chin to chest again and slowly move your head back and forth. All right. Grab another drink of water if you need it. So as I said, we're going to do one more round, and you can choose where your focus lies for this last round. If you feel like you'd like to do more cardio, you're more than welcome to go at our faster pace and move through the same exercises that way. I'll be cueing you for kind of more mindful muscle movement here as we get going with our sprinter arms. So sprinter arms on its own, if you can think about now us going to a slow motion camera, but lots of power still, and maybe just a little bit of side to side movement. So just a tiny little bit of rotation, just enough to engage through our obliques, those side core muscles, to help pull us back to center each time. Not enough to really, turn and face side to side. So our head is staying more or less to that center point. Just a bit of rotation here. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Our burpees, let's think about this from a postural standpoint. So even though we're hinged forward, we're long through our spine for a forward hinge, and then we're long through our spine for an upward reach. And maybe that upward reach, you get just a little bit more power and stretch to it, but with that, we're not compromising our core muscles. So we're still maintaining that connection at our rib cage and not letting that rib cage lift forward. Good, we got 3, 2, and 1 here. And then we have our skier arms. So I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it as a single arm first, actually, and I'm gonna do it with some support on one leg. If you would like to do this as a dual arm, you're welcome to it. Again, this is more about spinal alignment and core control than anything. So whether it's a single arm, reach forward and pull back, or dual arm, lots of thoughts about the trunk muscles as we are moving here. We got 5 more seconds. Good. And then our seated jacks become a single arm reach up and over. Now we did this already during our warm up, I know. So maybe we're moving just slightly faster than we did then, but still with the control to be able to side flex and pull it back to our center point without having to lift a hip up off the chair. We're keeping our hips evenly weighted on the chair as we go here. 10 more seconds and we are done with these 4 exercises for today. 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to sneak in one last one here. There we go. All right. So I am turning off my timer. We are all done with that for today. I'm going to grab another drink of water, and then we are going to go to, we'll actually use just one weight at the start. However, you could just have both weights in hand, so you don't have to keep changing up. It's up to you. And I'm going to do a hinged option for our first. So we're going to do a weighted row, and I will have a hinged option. So if you like to have a pillow on your lap for a bit of front support as we do that, that is great. Lots of options here, so bear with me as I talk for a moment. If you need to be back on your chair for support and hinging is not an option for you today, that is fine. All of the exercises we do not need a hinge in order to focus on the muscles. So as I start to demo this first exercise, it will be our slightly wide row. So pulling in just wide of your hip bone, and then returning to your knee if you are upright in your positioning. If you are going to hinge, my plan for these exercises, or this exercise anyway, is that our first time we do it, it's with front support. So I have one hand that, I'm going to set down this weight. If you have it in hand, that's fine. One hand that is supporting on your knee, and the other one is busy doing the work, right? So one hand for support, option of a hinge. If you're hinging, the weight is starting off to the side of your mid calf, and the shoulder is set into position. So we're pulling to that same point. Whichever one of those you choose, let's go for 8. So here we go, pulling up to your hip for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. If you have 2 weights in hand, all you need to do is switch sides. If you're holding just one weight right now, you can trade it off. We will do the same on the other side. So you're welcome to do our upright row or our hinged row. Make sure if you're hinged that you are set long spine right up to the top of your head as we go. Here we go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, come on back up tall. If you don't have both weights in hand already, grab that second one now. So that was hinged with support. It's a lot easier to keep our alignment when we have one hand free on our lap in order to kind of hold shoulders square and that spine in good alignment. But it's certainly an option for at least some of you to do both arms at the same time, either upright or in a hinged position. If you're hinging, we're pretty much in the exact same position as we were before. Shoulders set, both weights down at your mid-calf level, and then pulling up. We're going to do 8 here as well. So here we go. Squeeze shoulder blades together for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, come back up tall. So that was our rhomboids, our muscles that sit between our shoulder blades. And now we're moving on to front body, so chest muscles for our next one. I'm going to kind of flip the order of this and do our dual arm move first. We can't do this from a hinged perspective, but I actually have a bit of a recline option for our second time around. But for now, we are all going to be up tall. If you have the pillow on your lap, it's not going to be in the way too much here, so you're welcome to leave it there. We might use it again in a minute. So shoulders set, both arms are out with a slight elbow bend at your sides. And then we are coming to a center point where the bottom end of the weights meets and maybe clinks together and then comes back down. So we have 8 of these to do. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so for a second exercise, I haven't set this one up this way before in this class, so give me again a moment to talk it out. We only need 1 weight because I would like 1 hand free to help with stabilizing. This is going to depend a lot on your level of mobility, what you choose to do for this next exercise. I'm going to take the pillow and put it just below my shoulder blades. If that's not available to you, that is okay if it's too hard to reach back there and get a pillow back. If you decide after I demo this next exercise that it does not look like something for you and you want to do this as a single arm chest press like we just did, the dual arm, perfect. You will do that. If you would like to play around with this a little bit, we have a few setup options. So first we need to have that chin retraction so that I know my head's not going to come forward as I start to press the weight up. And then the next thing will be a little forward scooch with your rear so that you're not right at your chair back with your rear, but your back is still on your chair back. So again, this is very dependent on the type of chair you have. If you have a very short back to your chair, this is not going to work for you. Stay upright for this. If you have a tall back to your chair and you feel like this slight recline is feeling okay, you need to protect through your low back by engaging your core. And now our press is going to be starting at the side, coming to a center point that's about at eye level. So now you're going to press to eye level. So you can think about this a bit like having a barbell at the gym that you would be pressing up overhead from a recline position. Again, if you don't like the sound of this and you want to be upright doing our press from our hip to chest, that is fine. Okay, that was a lot of talking. Let's get 8 of these done here. So reclined if you like, or upright for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. If you're reclining, perhaps you'll sit up and just reset for a moment. Decide if that felt good for you and if you're going to do it the same way on the other side or if you need to make a modification. And then we'll get set up for that second side. So chin retraction, especially if you are slightly reclined. Weight is out to the side, ready to press to eye level if you're reclined, or to chest level if you are upright for this one. 8 times. Good. I have 3 more left. If you're on a different count than me, that's okay. 2 and 1. When you are done 8 of those, perfect. Keep that weight in hand. The pillow, if it's not bothering you and you want to keep it back behind your back for this next exercise, I think that should be just fine. We're actually going to do the paint shakers next. So the pillow will provide a certain amount of instability. If you need to stabilize by moving back onto your chair back, that is fine. Shoulders are set. I'm holding the weight in both hands now, up and down instead of side to side. And we are getting ready to go out to the front, into center. Starting at just a nice even pace, shoulders set, chin is retracted for this one too. Sometimes with forward motion, our chin starts to come forward a little bit as well. So we have to kind of do that little bit of a retraction to hold it in place. And then we're going to start to shorten up the move and speed it up. So you're starting to get that shake going. And then maybe you're speeding it up even more, really challenging those core muscles. Make sure you're not holding your breath for this. Nice even breaths in and out still. Good. And then start to slow it down and lengthen it out again. Let's do one more like that. And then let's just reset again. So shoulders set. We're going to do that same sequence one more time. So catch your breath. Shoulders are back and down. If you were back on your chair for that one and you have an option of moving forward and challenging your core muscles a little more, you're welcome to do that or stay wherever is best for you. Shoulders set. Here we go. Long forward reach to start. Good. And then starting to shorten it up a little bit and speed it up. And then speeding it up even more. Those paint shakers. Good. Keep your nice even breathing going. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Start to reach again. Out wide. 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to keep class going just a little bit later than we usually do. So I am going to sneak in one last exercise before we stretch. If you do need to go, that is okay once we hit our usual end time. We're going to do our oblique side flex here. I'm going to keep weight in hand. If you feel like that's not good for you, you're welcome to set the weight down and do it without a weight. One hand is free to stabilize, so you can hold on to the side of your chair or the arm of your chair. We are flexing towards the weighted side and then using our opposite oblique muscles to pull us back up tall. Good, so we'll do 4 more here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. And then if you have weight in hand, you will switch that to the other side. Free hand can stabilize as needed. Hips even on the chair as you side flex and use the opposite oblique muscles to pull you back up. Good. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one here. Awesome. We're all done with that weight for today. You can set it down. And we will get ready to stretch it out. We're going to start with chest stretch today. So we're going to do this one 2 different ways. My favorite way first. If you are slightly forward on your chair, we have just a little bit more space for our elbows to pull back. But if you need to be back on your chair, that's okay. Backs of your hands are in your imaginary back pockets. Shoulders are set back and down, and then elbows are pulling back just to get that opening through chest and front shoulders. So We did that weighted exercise today that used our chest muscles. Taking some nice even breaths in and out here as we're nice and open through our chest. So we should be able to get full expansion through our rib cage for these. Good. You can ease your way out of that stretch. We're going to do it one more time with a second option. So you are welcome to stay in that stretch, set up the same way as we just did, shoulders back and down, hands into your back pockets, elbows pull back. If you feel like you would like a little more stretch and you're okay with a forward hinge, we're going to start to grab on maybe to the chair, the sides of the chair back a little bit. So this will depend on your shoulder mobility as well. And then start to slightly forward hinge. Maybe you can walk your hands up the chair back a little bit. We're not letting our shoulders creep up to our ears here. You're welcome to forward hinge a little bit more if that's available to you. So we're looking for opening through our chest, still that long spine, and a little bit of stretch through front shoulders here as well. Good, and then we'll ease our way out of that stretch and come back up tall if you were hinged. And you can slide back on your chair for some back support now. We will not be doing any more hinging today in class. We'll get ready to do mid back stretch next. So we're going to do the one where one hand slices across body and then you can give it a little bit of a hug. So shoulder is low, hugging that arm in to let your shoulder blade actively come away from its center point. So we're getting a little stretch there. And maybe your expansion of breath now, you can feel that little extra bit of stretch and space as you take a breath in through your back body and exhale. Good one there. All right, we are easing out of that stretch about halfway and then bending our elbow to touch that shoulder across body and pulling that elbow across a little bit farther. For this one, we're going to shoulder check. So shoulders themselves facing forward, shoulder checking across the side where your hand is currently resting. Taking a few breaths in and out while you're here. Ease your gaze back through center. As long as you're comfortable, you're going to keep this stretch going just a little bit longer. We're going to shoulder check again, and this time we might slightly rotate towards that side as well. So we're getting just a little bit extra. If instead you'd like to take your hands down to your chair to assist with the rotation, that's fine. And then come on back through center, unwind that side. We'll do 3 slow shoulder circles on this side that was just stretching. 3, 2, and 1. And then let's get those same stretches done on the other side. So shoulders set, arm slices across with a straight elbow, and then a little extra hug in. Shoulder stays low. Take some big breaths in, thinking about sending a little bit of extra breath to that stretching muscle group between your shoulder blade and backbone on this side. Good, and then ease your way about halfway out of this stretch, bend your elbow and set it on the shoulder across body, and then hug in that elbow again. From here, we'll take this as a shoulder check. So shoulders themselves facing forward, head looking towards that shoulder that currently has your hand resting on it. And ease your gaze back through center. We'll keep that arm there just for another moment. If you're comfortable with that, add the shoulder check again and a small bit of rotation to this side, taking your hands down for support on your chair or on your lap if you need it for this rotation. Excellent. Ease your way back through center. Unwind that arm. We will do 3 slow shoulder circles here. 3, 2, and 1. And then just before my final closing breaths that we usually do, let's just check in with posture. So we're back on our chair for some back support. Our shoulders are back and down. We've done a fair amount of hinging today, but we also did some really upright reaching exercises as well. So you can think about that upright reach of the crown of your head towards the ceiling just for a moment. Activating through your core. Our core muscles have been working hard through class today. And just taking a few really expanding breaths here in a really tall seat. Good. All right, from here, we will finish things off as we usually do with 3 big breaths in. You can reach down low to start, and then a big reach up for the ceiling for 3, 2, and last one here. All right, thanks for joining me today. I'll be here for a few moments after as usual. So if you have any questions or want to chat for a moment, I'm here.
Thank you. That was good.
Thank you. I like the shake weight. That was fun.
Excellent.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye. Thanks, Gordon. I see your message.
Okay. See you next week.
All right, sounds great.